I am here in the Rio de Janeiro airport. GIG is the airport code. It's middle of the night, almost 2 a.m. Our flight had some issues. This has been a very eventful trip. I mean, a lot of things didn't go right. We had trouble getting on board the ship. We are now in the terminal. We have no idea where to go. We have had no guides. They just put us on a bus and sent us back to the terminal. We all got sick. All of us got Montezuma's revenge, and it wasn't very pretty. We had a little trouble getting off the ship. That's where we want to go. We were so close to getting off. Now this, you know.
I'm Matt.
I'm Laurin.
We are
YAH Adventures.
Now this, you know. And we could be grouchy and we could be upset and we could point fingers and we could blame, but the point I want to make is an adventure is defined by mishaps. An adventure is defined by obstacles to overcome. It wouldn't be an adventure if we didn't have things like that. Now, this is the first time we've ever been on a trip where so many things went wrong. But it wouldn't be an adventure without things going wrong. And you learn to overcome them and you move forward.
Here's the situation. We were scheduled to depart from Rio de Janeiro on a Monday night at around 11:40 p.m., getting into Atlanta at around 6 a.m., where we would catch our flight home at 8 a.m. However, after pulling away from the gate at Rio, we sat on the tarmac for almost 90 minutes. I know this because I was watching Terminator Dark Fate on the in-flight entertainment, and I was all the way to the third act.
We are on the runway waiting for maintenance. It's almost 2 hours late now, getting out of Rio.
After this long wait, the captain announced an issue with the navigation and said that we would have to return to the gate. Once at the gate, we were allowed to disembark from the plane if we cared to do so. Fortunately, I was traveling with this amazing person who could see the red flags and was able to put a backup plan in motion. But before we tell you about the plan, a bit of housekeeping.
If you enjoy going on adventures with us and want to do us a solid, give us a big old thumbs up and share this video. We'd also really appreciate it if you click that big red subscribe button. And if you click that bell, you'll get notifications whenever we go on new adventures. Now back to the show.
This long, seemingly endless sci-fi looking corridor is the corridor we walked to get out of the terminal. We're stuck here in Rio for another 6 hours or so. Fortunately, Laurin booked another flight as a backup plan, but our flight has been canceled to get us home. And now we're at baggage claim, got to get the bags. It's almost 3 in the morning. We do have a flight.
How did we get here? Well, after about 45 minutes waiting in the terminal in the middle of the night, the airline canceled our flight. Fortunately, Laurin had a backup plan, which she had put into effect almost an hour before the cancellation was announced. A plan that went like this. Our original flight was on Delta. Once it was announced that the Delta flight would be delayed, but before the flight was actually canceled, Laurin looked to see if there were any other Delta flights that would get us home that Tuesday. There were not. So she went to Expedia, one of the many travel service apps available. There, she searched flights out of Rio de Janeiro on all airlines to see if one would get us back to the States. She found an Azul Airlines flight departing at 8 a.m. Tuesday morning.
So it's not going to get us home until Tuesday evening. We were supposed to get in around Tuesday around 10 a.m. and now that's a little disappointing, but all of us from the canceled flight waiting for our luggage to start coming across. So the purpose of this channel was to give you travel tips, to teach you the things that we learned sometimes because we've been doing this for years, sometimes through mistakes, sometimes because we're confronted with situations we've never been confronted with before. But I think some of those lessons can be in many ways spiritual. I know people that every time they travel, everything goes wrong. And they go into travel expecting that. They go into travel afraid of that. They have negative attitudes. And they attract that energy. I honestly believe that. And I will say, very rarely do we have things go wrong when we travel because we go in with positive hearts and we go in trying to uplift the people around us and connect. For some reason on this trip, at least from my perspective, what I did We had a challenge getting on board the ship, and because of that challenge, it set me in a bad mood. Plus, I got sick. We all got sick. That put me in a worse mood, and it just sort of felt like things were spiraling. It was to the point where when I was getting ready to get on the plane, I said it would be just my luck that something bad would happen, and sure enough it did. Because I wasn't going in with that joyful, positive spirit. But now I'm kind of resigned to it. I have an awesome wife. She's gotten us on another flight. Fortunately, we have travel insurance. We're not dead. I'd rather be here alive than the plane losing navigation somewhere over the ocean. So things are good. And get that smile back on my face a little bit. It's now coming up on 5 a.m. and people are starting to move around in the airport. It's now about 7 in the morning. Our flight takes off about an hour and 20 minutes. We are on a flight from Rio de Janeiro to Sao Paulo, where we are hoping to catch a flight to our home. Our original flight out of Rio de Janeiro was canceled, so we couldn't.
Due to mechanical reasons.
Laurin quickly booked a flight on another airline.
Otherwise, we had to stay there another day.
It's easy to see that we had been up all night, and what we say next quickly turns to gibberish, so let's see if I can recap. The reason Laurin booked a backup flight on Azul before the Delta flight was canceled was because travel apps like Expedia, Priceline, and Kayak come with a special feature. Once you've purchased a ticket, you have until midnight the next day to cancel. So if the Delta flight had been a go, we would have flown home with Delta and canceled the Azul flight. Since the Delta flight was not a go, we had the Azul ticket as a backup.
We're not making sense.
Yeah,
Because we've been up all night.
we have not had any sleep. Now we have another stressful thing coming up. We were supposed to have about 2.5 hour layover to connect with our other flight back to the States. Looks like because of delays, it'll be about an hour. We're not sure if we're going to have to go through the international passport check again.
And so we might have to be ready for the next flight to get to our flight home.
And hopefully we won't miss it, you know.
We thought we would let you know and see us in this tired state because this is travel.
One added obstacle I want you to see. We are at the very back of the plane, so we have to go all the way to the front and hopefully not miss our connection. Dropping down through the clouds, you can't see anything out there but white. Now we're down below the clouds.
But they keep quiet about it. They don't boast about it.
São combinadas áreas permitidas. As conexões serão direcionadas por nosso time de Campinas.
No, they're not
Atenção ao
going to
horário
give us an
local.
English version of that, so we don't know what she's saying.
Seu cartão de
40 minutes, and we're not sure what we have to go through. I can't tell if people are moving or not. Finally. Ciao. Ciao. All right, we're here at the airport. They told us it's about a 15-minute walk to the international terminal. So we've got about 2 minutes in on it. I know Laurin doesn't like the back of her head, but that's the only way I can do this right now. Coming into international connection. I didn't show you passport control, but we had to go through that again. And security, right?
Yes, and security.
That was our downfall in Turkey a couple years ago because we had a very short connection, a late flight, and we would have made it if we didn't have to go through all that stuff. And here we are now. And this is a beautiful plane.
Before we go any further, let us be clear, this story is not meant to be a criticism of Delta. We love Delta. We're both SkyMiles members and we fly Delta regularly. And within 2 days after our cancellation, Delta not only refunded us the unused balance of the ticket, but gave us each 17,500 SkyMiles to be used towards future travel. So Delta takes good care of us. This adventure was not their fault. All airlines have mechanical issues from time to time, so it's good to have a plan should it happen to you.
So, where do we go next? Well, you can always go to Facebook and follow us at YAH Adventures, YAH Adventures, or you can go to Instagram and follow us at mattandlaurin. Also, be sure to visit our website, which is yahadventures.com. Thank you for watching.
See you soon.